Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Iron Bark Podcast, and I am your host, Epion. Happy Veterans Day, everyone. And to start off Veterans Day, we're going to keep to the brand. We're going to talk about some wildlife that are veterans, or could be considered veterans in a way. And there's plenty of canine units, there's plenty of rats out there that sniff out bombs and landmines and stuff like that. But today we're going to specifically talk about a bear by the name of Winnipeg, or Winnie. It was a black bear. So, Winnipeg. 1914 to the 12th of May, 1934. Winnie was the name given to a female black bear that lived in London Zoo from 1915 until her death in 1934. Rescued by cavalry veterinarian Harry Colburn, Winnie is best remembered for inspiring the name of A.A. Milne and E.H. Shepard's character Winnie the Pooh. So a little bit of history here. Upon the outbreak of World War I, Harry Colburn of the Fort Garry Horse, a Canadian cavalry regiment, volunteered his service on the 24th of August while en route to Quebec to report to the Canadian Army Veterinarian Corps, or CAVC. As part of the Canadian Expeditionary Force, he purchased a young bear cub for $20 Canadian, equivalent to $524 in 2023, at a train stop in White River, Ontario. The bear's mother was probably killed in the spring of 1914 when the cub was very young and could most easily have become socialized to humans. The name of the hunter who sold the bear, who had presumably provided the bear's early socialization, is undocumented, so we don't know. Winnie was adopted and named after his home city, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Winnie accompanied him on his way to England and soon became the mascot of the unit and pet of the 2nd Canadian Infantry Brigade headquarters. According to Colborne's 6 diaries that he kept during the war, on October 3rd, 1914, he and Winnie departed for Giuseppe Bay, en route to England aboard the SS Monteau, along with numerous other liners filled with troops heading to England. On October 17, they disembarked and left Davenport, Greater Manchester for Salisbury Plain at 7 that morning. Before leaving for France, Colborne left Winnie at London Zoo on December 9th, 1914. Obviously, Winnie went on to become a legend. A lot of people loved that, inspired the novels, the books, the children's books, all that stuff. The bear was very playful and friendly with humans, and it was kind of like a show. Okay, another bear veteran. We have Wojtek. Now, Wojtek was a Syrian brown bear, adopted by the Polish soldiers, the 2nd Polish Corps, during World War II. As a young cub, his mother was shot by hunters, and he was found in the mountains of Iran by a young boy. The boy then sold him to a group of Polish soldiers who were in the country after being evacuated from the Soviet Union. In order to provide for rations and transportations, he was eventually enlisted officially as a soldier with the rank of private and subsequently, that took a lot of effort, promoted to corporal. He accompanied the bulk of the 2nd Polish Corps to Italy, serving with the 22nd Artillery Supply Company during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944. Wojtek helped move crates of ammunition and became a celebrity with visiting Allied generals and statesmen. After the war, he was mustered out of Poland Army and lived out the rest of his life in Edinburgh Zoo in Scotland. Boom! There's a little bit of history for you guys. A little bit of on-brand wildlife Veterans Day type of stuff. We saw bears fighting for us back in the day, apparently. Well, I guess Winnie didn't really fight. So we got some news headlines to get through here. We got some interesting things. We got some interesting things to talk about. We got a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Okay, well, what do we got? So, we got giant rats in tiny vests trained to sniff out illegally trafficked wildlife. These are like the littlest helpers that could, okay? So, what does this article say? Basically, scent detection animals, however, could be one of the most promising solutions for international team of researchers has turned to the African giant pouched rat. These rats are impressive sense of smell, able to detect many different scents and tell the difference between them. Not to mention, they can get into tight spaces. They've previously been trained to sniff out explosives, even tuberculosis-causing bacteria. Could they do the same with illegally trafficked wildlife? And the answer is yes. Of course they can, and they do. And that's what they're doing. And they're great little helpers, and they feed them with little syringes that obviously don't have the needle part on them. They're just plungers, and they give them like a nice little treat when they do well. That's awesome. You ought to look this up. They're wearing like these little protection vests and stuff, I guess, to keep them on a leash so they don't run away, because I guess training them would be quite expensive, as you can imagine. What else do we have here? We got an article. It's called The Majestic 8th Continent. And what do you think about that when I say that? You're probably visualizing, oh, he's going to talk about Atlantis. He's going to talk about... No. We're not going to talk about Atlantis. We're going to talk about something technological. A technological advancement so great that no person could ever believe it ever. Nobody in the history of technological advancements could ever believe such a great architectural achievement. So architect Linka Petrakova, the 8th continent, proposes a self-sustaining structure to recycle ocean plastics and restore marine health. So imagine like a giant floating apparatus. It might as well be, it's kind of like a floating island of sorts that sucks up garbage and recycles it all in one go. It's an ambitious project, and I hope it works out. It comes from award-winning architect Linka Petrakova, and is pioneering a new way to tackle ocean pollution with the ambitious project. Her innovative design aims to recycle ocean plastic while functioning as a completely self-sustaining floating structure. If realized, it could mark significant advancement in global conservation efforts, and that's what we like to see, folks. We like to see technology, human tech, coming together to help the environment, the ecology, so we can form some sort of harmonious relationship with the natural world and the wildlife that live in it, so that humans don't necessarily have to compromise their ingenuity and their advancement, but they can also look out for the little guy. And that's kind of like, that's the key to harmony. That's a key. That's a key right there. Okay, what else do we got here? We got, this one's an interesting one. High-speed 3D bioprinter precisely creates human tissues to tissues including brain and bone. So this is quite interesting. Okay. Researchers have designed a 3D high-speed bioprinter to accurately print human tissues. Interestingly, this advanced bioprinter is capable of fabricating a diverse array of tissues, including both soft brain tissue and harder materials such as cartilage and bone. This development comes from biomedical engineers at the University of Melbourne. Their cutting-edge 3D bioprinter technology is set to transform the field of regenerative medicine. It uses acoustic waves. So traditional 3D bioprinting is a slow and delicate process. Layer by layer, cells are deposited, but this method actually can damage the cells, which limits the complexity of the structures. So if you're kind of just going like in a line, one over the other, you're not going to be able to make too complicated of a structure. So in addition to drastic improvements to printing speed, the approach enables a degree of cell positioning within printed tissues. Incorrect cell positioning is a big reason most 3D bioprinters fail to produce structures that are accurately represent human tissue. So basically what they do is they use acoustic sound to kind of jiggle and bump things into place so that these structures can be accurate. And that's kind of cool. It's a nice little intuitive, it's ingenuity at its finest, where it's like, hey, let's just use sound to bump things around and move it around, and it turns out it works. Yeah, so that stuff's really cool, because now you're going to be able to make human hearts, skull tissue. So I don't know, that I think it's good for the future. I think we're going to see a lot of so printing directly into the standard laboratory plates ensures that the maintenance of the structure integrity and sterility of the provided structure. So you don't need to go poking and prodding in there. You just use the sound waves. It doesn't introduce anything like possibly air could. Biologists recognize the immense potential of bioprinting, but until now it has been limited to applications with very low output. They added, we developed our technology to address this gap, offering significant advancements in speed, precision, and consistency. This creates a crucial bridge between lab research and clinical applications. By mimicking the complex architecture of the human tissues, researchers can now create precise models of studied disease and development of treatments. That's cool. So you can create like actual organs and stuff and like cavities to sort of replicate how you think they're going to react to things. Yeah, so that's something to look out for. I'm sure there'll be plenty of breakthroughs in that. And sort of like to segue into something similar, we have animal cells capable of photosynthesis created for the first time in a lab. So in an incredible feat that redefines biological boundaries, scientists have successfully engineered animal cells that are capable of photosynthesis. This breakthrough, led by Professor, not even going to bother pronouncing that name, at the University of Tokyo, could transform medicine research and aid in advancing lab-grown meat production. It bothers me that when you have something like this, the first thing you think about is making like artificial meat, like for food and consumption. I'm hoping that's just so they get funding and they're like, oh, look, we can make money off this. But the real applications of this is that you could make a heart cell, put it in somebody's body, and everybody knows heart cells do not repair. That's why they don't get cancer. That's why humans don't get heart cancer. But you could have a heart cell with photosynthesis repairing itself. And that's what happens when you have a heart attack. It scars the tissue in there. It can't repair itself. So you kind of just get like a hole over time or a weak scarred tissue. Now, if you had some sort of LED in your chest, now this is the catch-22. And I don't know all the stuff behind it yet. But the catch-22 is that you put a little LED in your chest. Now you're kind of reliant on the light source and power source of that. But who's to say maybe your own electricity couldn't power it or something weird like that. But anyway, is then putting light onto the heart cell and causing it to heal. Now maybe it doesn't actually require photosynthesis. Maybe it's like has dual capabilities where it can just function just fine on its own through, blood going to it and sustaining it that way and, all that kind of stuff. But if it actually requires photosynthesis, then it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword. You're kind of just trading one thing for another. So that's interesting. I hope to see some developments with that. And then this, oh no, what did I just close? Hold on. We got a really good story here. This one's a goodie. Where is it? There it is. All right. Mystery animal caught on wolf wildlife camera puzzles experts. This animal looks fucking cool. It looks like a coyote. It looks like a fox. It looks like a dog. It looks like a wolf. It sort of looks like what do they call those in Japan? A tanuki? It looks like it is a wild looking thing. It looks like a bear cat almost. Like it's like it's hybrided out the yin yang, and no one really knows what it is. But this comes out of Forbes if you want to look this up. The article's by Amanda Kooser, Kooser. And so it's got rounded ears, light beige and gray fur coat, a fluffy tail. That's the description for a mysterious animal. Dude, it just looks like everything I just said combined into one. It's got like rounded ears. It's got kind of like a short, fluffy tail that's like downwards, kind of like a dog's. It's got like a long coat. It's got kind of like you got to look at it. It's got a cute little snoot. But it looks, I guess now looking at this like more video of it, it does look a little bit more, it looks like dog coyote. It really looks like a dog coyote. A dog yoti. They call it Project Woyoti Dog. Mix of a dog coyote and a wolf. To us, the animal looks like coyote-esque, but for some dog-like aspects. Yeah, that's true. That's what it does look like. Where did they find this? They found this in... I don't know this, or I want to say Minnesota, somewhere, or maybe Maine. Where did they find this? How come they? The one thing I want to know, they can't just tell me, They found, and it's weird because it's like it's an article that originated in X and I didn't even see it. This algorithm needs to improve. I need to be able to see these kind of things. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a failure. I'm sorry I could not tell you where this came from. Minnesota. University of Minnesota. Bingo, bango, bongo. Bam, bam, bam. Hopefully they track it, get the DNA it, figure out what it is. Because I think there was only a wolf-dog hybrid once before. This could mark the second. It could be a big deal. It could be a very big deal. And it'd be the one in America instead of Mexico. It could be great. It could be beautiful. It could be a bunch of things. I'm getting invites on X to join things and I can't right now. I'm in the middle of a podcast, people. Okay, let's see. I think that might be just about everything. Let's see here. What do we got? I crashed through this stuff, man. I freaking blew through this shit, man. Oh yes. Where art thou? Yes. Meet the Jeypore Indian Gecko, lost for 133 years and rediscovered. It's a cute little gecko. Give it a Google. Jeypore, Jeypore, Indian Gecko, lost for 133 years. If you want to see something cool, go check that out. You go look at that little lizard and you give it a pet. You pet it on the little head. I know it's just on the screen of your phone, but you just give it a little pet. Yeah, baby. That's basically it. That's all, folks. Let's talk about X. Let's talk about the content creation. So Paris Hilton's account started following me this week. That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. Even though it's probably not her, it's like her agency or something that does it. But I don't know, it's still pretty fucking cool. It's fucking cool. It's dope. It's fucking dope, okay? I got paid this week on X. Things are looking up. People. Popularity increasing. Okay, let's go to my profile. What kind of stupid... I got a couple of wildlife videos I put up today. Shared an old... I figure, like, dude, the things that are good and bad about X, it's like a double-edged sword. So what's bad about it's on a 48-hour news cycle. So basically anything you post will be forgotten about within 48 hours. But you can literally post old shit from like a year ago and you have so many new followers within a year that everything old is new again. And so you can just like keep reusing content. Kind of cheap, kind of lazy. But if the majority of your, like if you had 500 followers a year ago and now you have like 3,000, that might as well be new fucking content. There ain't nobody going through your entire fucking profile, infinite scrolling to see everything you've ever posted. Maybe some people, but like very few. Did a little space where I basically cover everything I've already talked to you about. I probably do it a little bit better there. Not gonna lie. Maybe you give it a little listen. Oh yes, my Wildlife Wednesday was probably one of my favorite birds in the Rockies, the Stellar Jay. It's a really cool blue color. I don't think the video really does it justice on how blue it looks in real life. This thing was a bugger. A fucking stellar bugger is what he should have been named to get footage of, man. This thing knew I was filming. He's smart as fucking. He's like, you ain't getting a fucking video of me, son. You fucking paparazzi. And he would just take off. So I did the best I could with that video. But yeah. Bohemian Waxwing, another one of my favorites, because those birds like to get hammered off fermented fruits, and then you find them like laying on the ground and you have to like pick them all up and put them somewhere safe so they don't get killed. Some little hiking view videos, and reposted like an ad I have for like my content where that's another old is new again type of thing. Some more views. What do we have? We had World Basking Shark Day on November 3rd. I hope everyone loves the basking sharks. They're beautiful creatures. They're very friendly sharks. There's not very many friendly sharks, and this is one of them. And now that brings us back to last week's podcast. So that's it. We got a Miss Hilton follow. Thank you, Miss Hilton. Woo woo. I know it's not. Anyway, it's Miss Jackson, but we're going with Hilton this week. Anyway, I think that's all, folks. I think that's all. I gave you a little 20-minute this week. You got a little 20-minute. I have some publicists reaching out to me. They might put some interesting people on the podcast. I'm going to try to wrangle up some good guests. There are some people doing some incredible things out there with wildlife right now, and I want to get their message out there. I want to get them heard. Let's hope it happens, folks. Let's hope it happens. Anyway, thank you everybody who supports me. You're the ones that make this all possible. You guys make me able to get payouts, and I hope to pay it forward back to you all one day. It'll be incredible. And I think that'll just grow the brand even stronger, just to keep paying it forward. You know, lots of creators do that and they say it pays off. So that's what I plan on doing. Thank you all for every like, every share, every comment, every reply, every notification bell, every quote, thank you for it all. Thank you for just looking at it on your screen for a few seconds, even if you don't interact with it at all, because it still counts as an interaction. Thank you. You make me keep on going. You're beautiful. I'm glad someone listens to me, because there could be nobody listening to me. But there is a few. And you are the few that make it all possible. And with that, I bid you a farewell and a goodbye. And auf Wiedersehen. And no viento. I'll see you soon. Ciao, baby.